Hey everyone, this is Conor with Down the Block Sports, bringing you another exclusive episode of the Who Dat Chat. No Michael Balco today, but of course, we're on Down the Block Sports on YouTube. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, smack that notification bell, and of course, make sure you like this video, leave a comment below, and tell us what you think about Week 1, Green Bay and the Saints. A really great game. We're going to go ahead and dive right into that now. Of course, looking at the scoreline 38-3 New Orleans, a massive result for the city, especially with everything that's been going on in New Orleans. You look at the hurricane situation, and a lot of people have been affected by that. So, of course, our thoughts and prayers go out to them. But a really massive result by the New Orleans, especially in a new look offense with a lot of new players on defense and a great game. Coach Payton had a great game plan, and it worked remarkably well. Kept Green Bay off the field in terms of their offense. Didn't give up a lot of big plays. You're looking at a team that kept Aaron Rodgers, three-time MVP, to 0 of 6 third down conversion. So 1 of 2 on fourth down, and that's a team that they're a good offense. That's a playoff team, and Saints did a really great job of shutting them down. Looking at the offensive side of the ball, Jameis Winston, 5 touchdowns, 148 yards, no turnovers. Massive day for Jameis Winston. Huge litmus test going into this one, and he kept a hold of the ball, didn't make poor decisions, threw an interception, but it was ruled out because of a flag. But he did a great job holding onto that ball and making sure that the offense stayed on the field. Saints game plan, control the tempo, as I said, going into the season. Something that they should really address is making sure that they keep the offense on the field, run down the clock, don't give the other team a chance to score. And they did just that. They had 20-plus minutes going into halftime of time of possession, which is really great. Went into the half, I believe, 17-3, and the game ended up being 38-3 at the final whistle. For the Saints, did a great job on the ground. Alvin Kamara, 20 touches for 83 yards, 14-yard long. Nothing crazy from Kamara, but Tony Jones, 11 carries, 50 yards, had a decent game, after winning out that second spot in the preseason with Latavius Murray being cut. Deontay Johnson, had the most receiving yards, and that was only 72, with 55 of them coming on a pretty long play. Jameis's longest throw of the day, of course, for that 5th touchdown, an absolute dagger to the Green Bay fans. Looking at this offense, though, James did a good job spreading the ball around, didn't turn it over, didn't force anything really. And Juwan Johnson, a guy that we've earmarked, Balco and I have earmarked to become someone who could be a very good player, 2 touchdowns on the day. And, that wide receiver to tight end conversion is doing pretty well. I know it's week 1 and we shouldn't get carried away, but a very good performance from New Orleans, a very good performance from the defense, and the offense did a great job not turning it over. You look at Green Bay, like I said, didn't get the ball converted on third downs, couldn't really do anything productive. They had 2 turnovers in the red zone, 3 on the day, with Rodgers throwing 2 picks. Jordan Love getting in on the action, his first meaningful NFL snaps, and you could tell that meant a lot to him. 5 of 7, had a decent outing, but fumbled the ball, right in the red zone there. And the Saints were able to just, take a knee and kind of run the game clock out. A very good game. Like I said, it's week 1. We should calm down. But going into week 2, it'll give some very positive momentum, especially against a division rival playing in Carolina, a massive game. If Jameis can go here to Carolina and put up a similar performance, I don't think 5 touchdowns is going to be what we're looking at. But again, keeping the offense on the field, keeping the tempo for the Saints, not turning the ball over, not making silly errors, not forcing things. And we know Alvin Kamara is good on the ground. We know Tony Jones is capable of breaking, yards after contact. And with Taysom Hill and a lot of the other players, there's a couple of different looks that the Saints can give off. Couple of pretty decent looks, 2 tight end sets, putting Taysom on with Jameis. There's 2 quarterbacks, a little bit of a dual threat. But, you look at this offensive production, Jameis didn't have to throw for more than 150 yards. So a very productive game plan. The defense did great. That D line, working in the trenches, did really well today. They were able to pressure the quarterback, get pressure on Rodgers, get pressure on Love, and that secondary did a great job, not giving up a big play. Marshawn Lattimore had a great game as well. He came off, I think, for a little bit, but was able to get back on. You look at Green Bay, and I made this point about their third down conversion. They're the second best team last year in converting third down. So a very good performance from the defense going into this week one, coming off of preseason with a lot of new players, a lot of new looks. And this is a team that did a great job. I think defensively speaking, you know, it's the big play factor, right? You don't want to give up big plays. You want to make sure that when you have a defensive unit that's going to be making the playoffs, that's when it comes down to the crunch time. You cannot give up big plays in crunch time, and that starts week one. Every great championship team is built from week one up, and like I said, it looks good. It's a great game plan. Coach Payton's developed the back office with Mickey Loomis. Uh, has done a great job recruiting the players, bringing in players, and getting the right personnel in. And the offense is this is the start of something I hope special. But it's week one. I'm gonna pump the brakes, and I'm gonna give you my spin on why I think that this is. We can't get too excited. I think still a lot of question marks. Most of the receivers, except for Ty Montgomery, I believe, were undrafted free agents. So there's still a lot of experience that needs to be developed when the games get tough, especially against division rivals. You look at the Buccaneers as a prime example. Can these players who don't necessarily have the experience or maybe aren't the biggest household names, can these players perform in pressure situations? Can Jameis stay in this new look where he's not turning the ball over, he's playing smart, there's a clear, concise game plan? Or, if he throws a pick, is he gonna fall back into those old ways where he's trying to force things and trying to get, the needle down into a place where it's not gonna get to? Um, I think going to Carolina next week, big game. If the Saints can start 2-0, massive result, huge boost for confidence, especially with everything going on in the city. Juwan Johnson, can he maintain some sort of form? I don't think he's going to catch 2 touchdowns every week. Obviously I would love that, but can Juwan Johnson remain a nice part of this offense, a solid performer in this offense? Great, first season game here. And I'm looking at the stats, and we're seeing 3 catches, 21 yards, 2 touchdowns. So very productive with his touches, getting the ball in the end zone. But, one of those was also wide open. The other one was just good hands. So depends on how you look at it. I would love to see Juwan Johnson and Troutman form a really great 2 tight end duo. Really force the blocks, create that edge for the rushers, and also be able to catch the ball and create downfield threats and move the tempo, move the chains, push the tempo, get the touchdown catches, be physical in the end zone, be physical in the red zone, which is so important. That's such an important thing in this league, especially when you play these divisional teams. Like I said, you got the Bucks and you got the Panthers, who look new, and Matt Rule and Sam Darnold. Atlanta's no slouch either. I don't think they're great, but it's a division game. You got to look at those and think, if I can beat my division opponent twice in 1 year, we're doing something good. So definitely something to look out for. And I think that'll wrap it up here. Of course, like I said, make sure you like the video, smack that notification bell, leave a comment below. Tell me what you think. Is this going to be the start of something special this season? Or is this just a one-off against Green Bay, a team that just didn't show up on the day after having a pretty rough and tumble preseason? Let me know in the comments below. My final thought is this is the start of a great sort of game plan, right? If the Saints can stick to this sort of game plan where they control the tempo and manage the game and not put Jameis in situations where he has to feel like he's got to force something, that'll be huge. And that'll be exactly where the Saints want to be. Coach Payton, very good coach, a guy that I would say is top 3 in the league. I trust him. I think we shouldn't get carried away. I wouldn't be surprised if the Saints have some trouble against the Panthers, a team that has had a lot of good players come through in recent years, especially with McCaffrey back. But this is a team that is going to do well, a team that they need to just follow the game plan. No one try to be a hero. everyone try to be part of something and just be productive. And I think that that'll be huge for the Saints moving forward. Of course, this is the Who Dat Chat on Down the Block Sports. Make sure you subscribe, everyone. We will see you next time. Have a nice night.